Hello and welcome. Happy Earth Day, my favorite holiday. I'm so happy that this is something you're choosing to fill your Earth Day with. I really appreciate you taking this time and being here, and I'm excited to be with you virtually. So, before we get started, I want to first let you know that my name is Naomi, and I also want to make sure that you have something like yoga blocks. So I have 2 yoga blocks there. If you don't own yoga blocks, it's totally okay. You could use 2 books. You could use 2 glass Tupperware. Those work pretty well. You could even use like 2 Nalgene, just something that's going to be steady on the floor that can help you get a little bit more height under your hands. We're not going to do anything crazy today, but it is really helpful to have those around. So I just wanted to share a word with you as inspiration for our Earth Day practice. And this is a word that both my yoga practice and my relationship to the earth have taught me a lot about. And that word is sustainable. Something that can endure. And mainly, I think that this comes up a lot in our relationships. In our relationship to ourselves, is it sustainable? In our relationship to a loved one, our relationship to the earth, and also our relationship to our yoga practice. So as we move through the practice today, I really want you to think of this concept. Is the way in which I'm engaging with this pose sustainable? Is the way in which I'm breathing sustainable? Can it be maintained? And hopefully we'll arrive at some sort of equilibrium in that process. So let's get started in a child's pose. Come onto your mat. Take your big toe mounts together and your knees wide. And then let your hips come back towards your heels and walk your arms out in front of you as your forehead comes to the earth. You might hear my cats or my dog just kind of playing in the background, and that's just all a part of this teaching yoga from home thing. So thanks for having patience with that. Now as you settle in, take a few really deep cleansing breaths, as big as you can make them, in through your nose, all the way into the very depth of your belly. And then let it go out your mouth, sigh, and release your chest a little closer toward the earth. Do 2 more in that way. Really let there be some sound on the exhale. 1 more. And speaking of my cats who are running around, let's take a moment to channel some of our own inner cat. Start by walking your hands forward. Feel a big stretch through the sides of your waist. Ground your right hand really firmly into the earth, palm the floor, and then stretch your right hip back towards your right big toe more. Breathe into that right side body. And then do the same on the left. Ground your left palm, reach your left hip way back. And then breathe more into the left rib cage. And now, right in center, ground both palms into the floor. Stretch back through both hips. Feel the sides of your waist get really long. And now take a big breath that moves out left and right. And as you exhale, feel your torso come down toward the earth. Ground your palms down and start to shift yourself up into a tabletop. Keep those hands nice and active. That's it. So you're in a tabletop with your hands underneath your shoulders. Walk your knees so they're right underneath your hips. Start by pressing the tops of your feet down into the floor and drop your belly. Feel your sternum reach forward. Now, as you exhale, scoop your belly, scoop your tailbone, pull your chin to your chest. Continue to move through this pulsation Dropping your belly into what we call cow pose. And exhale, round your spine into what we call cat. Now the point here is to really begin to link the movement with the breath. So right as you begin to exhale, you round and you use the full exhale to come into the biggest exaggeration of cat. And then right as you start to inhale, you ride that breath into your cow. Really feel your heart reach forward, your sits bones point up and back. One more round with your breath. And then come into a neutral tabletop. Walk your hands just a little farther forward and turn your hands a tiny bit out to the sides, just a little bit. Palm the earth with your hands. And for a lot of us, you're gonna notice that that pointer finger knuckle wants to lift up. So push down a little more into the pointer finger knuckle. Squeeze the earth, and then wrap your triceps, that's the outer arm, back towards your hips. Feel how your armpits turn in toward the center of your chest as you do that. Now keep all of that with your toes tucked under. Start to shift your hips up and back. And let's start in this first down dog by walking the feet as wide as the mat. Have just your big toe mound on the mat and the rest of the foot kind of outside the rails of the mat. Now, from your heart, can you really push the floor away? Put a micro bend in your knees, and as you push the earth away, reach your sits bones up and back on a diagonal line. Feel the tops of your thighs press up and back. Create that same feeling of lengthening through the sides of your waist here that you just had in child's pose. Take a couple breaths. If you want to pedal one heel toward the earth and then the other, that can be a nice way to start to wake up the legs. And then from here, walk your feet hips distance apart. And take your feet all the way up towards your hands, one footprint at a time. Walk your feet hips distance apart, so you should be able to fit 2 fists between your 2 feet. Point your toes straight ahead and come up onto your fingertips just in front of your toes. With your fingertips on the floor, micro bend your knees. With a micro bend in your knees, press the tops of your thighs back in space and then begin to lift your belly away from your thighs. Keep that in any amount. Just start to straighten your legs. Reach your heart toward your toenails. It's okay to have a little bend in your knees as long as you're feeling a hamstring stretch here. And then shake your head no. And shake your head yes. And then inhale, take your hands onto your shins and reach your heart halfway forward. Feel the length in both sides of your waist. Exhale to release back into that forward fold. Now start to create that equilibrium between the 2 hemispheres of your body. Bring your weight evenly into both feet and keep it there as you rise all the way to stand and reach your arms up toward the sky. And pause here, bring your hands into a prayer over your head. From your hips, feel your grounding energy down through your legs. Feel how your feet connect into the earth and feel how your fingertips reach toward the sky. So you are here like a conduit between earth and sky. And as you exhale, take your hands down into a prayer right in front of your heart. I invite you to have the eyes closed here for a couple moments. If that isn't working for you in your practice and in your body today, that's totally okay. Just bring your gaze on your fingertips. The tradition of yoga is rich with themes of nature. The teachings of yoga bring us back to the elements, like earth, the air, the fire, the wind, the water. And it's all an invitation as we move through the practice to connect to the qualities of these elements and to remember that they exist right inside of you. That you are nature. You are not separate from. Begin to drop your hands down by the sides of your waist. And as you inhale, flutter your eyes open, reach for the sky, maybe look up like a big morning stretch. And as you exhale, split your arms wide, micro bend your knees, fold back down to your forward fold. So it wouldn't be an Earth Day practice if we didn't go around the world a little bit. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. And as you exhale, step your left foot back, drop your knee down. Inhale, rise into a low lunge. Pull your front heel and your back knee toward each other. Rise tall like a flame. Now as you exhale, split your arms into a wide T and turn your heart to the right. Little twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to twist open. Inhale, back to center. So even right here, we're starting to channel one more time some of that air element. Exhale, take your hands down to frame your front foot. Pick your back knee up. And now you're gonna walk to the long edge of your mat toward the left. So you come into a forward fold. Sorry, I'm showing you my booty here, but I'm trying to stay on the same side as you. Now inhale, walk yourself up halfway. Actually, I'm gonna turn around to face you, but you stay right where you are. Walk your fingertips forward. So it's almost like you're in down dog, but come up onto the very tips of your fingers. Micro bend your knees, pull your feet toward each other, and then bring your weight way back into your heels. Feel your sit bones reach way behind your heels. Then walk your right hand a little farther forward, reach your right hip back more. Walk your left hand a little farther forward, reach your left hip back more. And now pin both hands straight down into the earth and hinge both hips back in space even farther. Slide your hands under your chest, lift your heart, walk yourself to the back of your mat. So now left leg is forward, right knee is down. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Really drag your left heel down and back and start to pulse with your breath as you exhale, twist open. Inhale, you come back to center. So one of the things, continue to twist here with your breath, that helps us to find sustainability is a healthy balance, a healthy pulsation between the opposites. Exhale back to center. Take your hands straight down to the floor. Lift your back knee up. And now you're gonna step your left foot back. Bring your knees to the floor. Let your hips drop forward a little bit. And then reach your tailbone towards your heels. Lift your belly, lift your front ribs, and push the floor away with your hands. Start to bend your elbows back and nice and slow, lower your chest all the way down. Walk your hands back just a little bit, so they're right by your low ribs. Point your feet and press the tops of your feet into the floor. Reach your tailbone just slightly towards your heels, so much so that you feel your low belly lift away from the floor just a little bit. So you're finding that Goldilocks place. You're not over exaggerating the tuck of the tail, but you're also not sticking your booty out. From here, pull the earth back with your hands and lift your chest up into a cobra. And then from here, start to sway your cobra a little bit side to side. Find some of that water-like fluidity, the ability to go with the flow, to be smooth, to change directions when you need to. And on your next inhale, come up high right through the middle. And exhale, lower your chest down. Tuck your toes under. Keep your knees down. And as you inhale, press the floor away till you find tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. So now we're facing here at the back of the mat, making our way around the earth a little bit. Maybe you choose your next destination. Where do you want to go? After a year of lockdown with not enough travel, where are you just dying to go visit? For me, I really want to go to Italy. So that's where I'm going in my practice today. Inhale, take your left leg to the sky. Exhale, step that left foot up in between your hands. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, rise tall like that flame with decision, with direction. You know where you're going, determination. As you exhale, twist open to the left, split your arms wide. This time, stay in the twist. Dig your left heel down into your mat and pull it toward your back foot with as much strength as you can. And then from your heart, send more power, more fire out through your fingertips. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, drop your hands down to the floor, lift your back knee up. Walk to the right, find that wide-legged forward fold. Spider crawl your fingertips out in front of you. Pull your feet toward each other so you feel those inner thighs light up. And then find the length in the sides of your waist. Hinge your hips way back behind your heels. And then remember, the pose is only as sustainable as the quality of the breath. So can you find a smooth but powerful rhythm to your breath here, where each inhale lengthens you forward through the top of your crown, and each exhale hinges you back through your hips more. Feel your breath start to stretch your spine in both directions, that balanced tension of opposites. Slide your hands under your chest, lift your heart, and walk to the right. So you're facing back toward the front of your mat now. Drop your left knee to the floor. Inhale, rise up, low lunge. Exhale, twist your heart open to the right. Split your arms wide. Keep dragging that right heel down and back. And then can you feel your spine get longer, moving up through this top of your skull? And with that long spine, feel your ribcage twist around the central axis. Turn your heart more toward that right hand. Maybe even bring your gaze back toward that right hand. Inhale, come on up through center. Exhale, take your hands down. Lift your back knee. Step to plank pose. And so ask yourself, is this pose a sustainable place for me to be? Do I feel strong here? Do I feel steady? Do I feel stable? If not, just bring those knees down. And that's the thing, is we can mold the practice to work for us. We choose within each and every pose what a sustainable place to be looks like. Shift yourself forward, bend your elbows, come on down. All right, this time, take your hands back so your palms are by your hips. Draw your legs together. They don't need to be all the way together, but take them a little closer to the midline. Now, spin your inner thighs toward the sky. And when you do that, you probably feel your whole legs activate. So that's a good thing. Keep that. And now as you inhale, keep those inner thighs spinning toward the sky. Lift your legs, lift your arms, Shavasana, locust pose. And then can you turn your palms in toward the center? Squeeze your palms together like they're gonna high five each other right behind your low back. And then lift your legs a little bit more. Lift your heart a little bit more. Now from here, this is where it gets tricky. Set just your feet down. Bend your elbows, take your hands by your low ribs. Now pull the earth back towards your feet. Cobra, look at that. Exhale, lower yourself down. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, press to tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, so be sure that you have those blocks framing the top corners of your mat. You're gonna want them for this next little sequence. Inhale, please come up high into your tippy toes. Bend your knees, and then either step, walk, or hop your way to the top of your mat. Have your feet hips distance apart. Inhale, lift and lengthen your torso forward. Now keep your fingertips down by your toes and sit down like you're sitting into a little kiddie chair. Roll your inner thighs down toward the earth and feel them hug to center. Now as you inhale, take your arms up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Now, the thing is that if we only did poses that we liked, it wouldn't be a very sustainable practice. We'd end up with some big holds, some weak points in our body. So we have to be well-rounded. We have to do some of the things that we don't like in order to find that sustainable practice. Take your hands to your heart. Take a big inhale to lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, twist to your right, hook your left elbow, and press your right hand down into your left. Find a little twist here. Now from here, unwind, come back into your forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Step your right foot forward a little bit. Take your left foot back. Line your two heels up with each other. See that your back toes are slightly turned in. Your right toes are pointing ahead. And then grab that block or whatever you're using as a block and set it up just behind your right heel to the outside of your foot. It would help if I didn't have my hair in my face when I was talking to you, huh? All right, from here, push down into your feet. And we're gonna come up into warrior number 2. This is a beautiful pose. Just start to open the hips. And as we open the hips, we facilitate that grounding, that connection down into the earth. Feel your weight move from your pelvis down into both feet. Can you press back into your left heel more? And now flip your front palm. Bring your pointer finger and your thumb together. So the thumb represents the fire and the pointer finger represents the air. Inhale, reverse. Bend deeper into your front knee. Reach through your right fingertips. Feel the opposites move away from each other. And now start to straighten your front leg. Lift your right kneecap up and ground down more into the inner edge of your right foot. From here, move your thumb over to the middle finger, now touching the element of ether. Ether is representative of spaciousness, of a wide open void, the realm of possibility. From here, find that space through your right side. Start to reach your right arm forward. And then once you've reached the max for that right hamstring, bring your hand down to a block, or it might lower the level of the block. Or if you're wildly open, your right hand can come to the floor. And then take your left arm up to the sky. Now bring your left thumb and your left ring finger together. This is Prithvi, the earth element. The earth which is steady and stable. The earth which is patient and wise. Feel that stableness stretch down through your legs. Feel yourself in this steady, strong triangle shape. And now, slowly start to bend your front knee to 90 degrees. Take that top arm long over your top ear. Bring the hand all the way to the floor. Move that block to frame the top edge of your mat and step up to your forward fold. Whew, how's that right side feeling? Feels good. And I just want you to remember that whatever you can do is perfect. That you are so welcome here as you are. Inhale, lift and lengthen your heart forward. Sit your butt low into that sort of kiddie chair again, and inhale, come on up into your fierce Utkatasana pose. Can you feel the fierceness here? Channel your own inner strength, your ability to show up when things get a little challenging, a little hard, because the real truth is that we all have that power. We all have that ability to continue to do what's needed to be done, even when it's not so easy. Take your hands into a prayer. Big inhale, feel your ribcage expand. And now as you exhale, twist to the left. Hook your right elbow and press your top hand down. Now it's okay for that right knee to sneak forward just a little bit, but you want to counteract it as much as possible. Drag the right heel down and back, and that's going to help you get the action of pulling the right knee back just a little bit. One more big breath. And as you exhale, forward fold. Shake your head out a little bit. Let go of any of that unnecessary tension. All right. I'm going to do it on the right side again, just so I can continue to face you, but you are going to step your right leg back, okay? Ground that right heel down, turn the toes in, bend into your front knee, and then take the block behind your left ankle. You kind of have an idea now of what height you're going to need it on, so you can set it up there, and then ground into your feet and come on up, warrior number 2. All right, moving on. Now bring your thumb, which is the fire, to your pinky finger. The pinky finger, which is representative of the water. The water is connected to our deep emotions, the emotional body. It's also really about our ability to go with the flow, to move when the waters are moving quickly, and to be slow and calm and still when the waters are more still. Inhale, reach forward and reverse. Bend deeply into that front knee, reach through the left fingertips, and then straighten that left leg. Now from here, just do thumbs up. So now we're just talking about the fire. Start to reach forward, maybe you even bring your right thumb up, so it's like 2 thumbs up. And then lower that left hand to the floor or a block. Take your right arm to the sky. Maybe keep that thumb up with the top arm. And so the fire, you ask, the fire is our passion. It's our determination. But it can also be our anger, our fieriness, right? And see, all of these elements have assets and they have perils. They have positives and quote unquote negatives. And so we just start to study and notice which elements are really present within ourselves, because we are the elements, right? And how can we bring them into greater balance? Bend your front knee, reach your top arm long overhead. Exhale, take that hand down to the floor. This time, place your hands and step into your plank pose. Bend your elbows, lower your belly. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, down dog. All right, how those hamstrings feeling, ladies and gentlemen? Push the floor away with your hands and press the tops of your thighs up and back. If you were to draw an equator right down the center of your body, separating left and right, are the 2 hemispheres symmetrical? Can you find equal weight in your right hand and your left hand? Can you feel equal length in the sides of your waist, left and right? And can you stretch both heels evenly down toward the earth? So here you are, right in center. Inhale, lift onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Walk, step, or hop all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Press into the earth, come to stand. And exhale, take your hands down. All right. I'm gonna come to face you. Bring your weight into your left foot, please. And then take your right knee up towards your chest. Now I want you to feel when you lift that right knee, does the whole hip come up with it? Roll that outer right hip toward the floor, and from your right hip, ground down into your left hip, ground down into your left leg more. Wouldn't be Earth Day if we didn't do some tree pose. Start to open your right knee out to the right. And then notice that point when you open it so far that the whole pelvis has to turn, right? So can you square your 2 hip bones straight forward and then find that edge, find that sustainable place, the Goldilocks, where it's just as much the effort as it is the return. And then using your right hand, you can take that foot either to the inside of the thigh or to the inside of the calf, or maybe you even balance the toes on the floor. I'm gonna do thigh today. So imagine there's 2 headlights right on your hip bones, and those are shining straight forward. And then take your arms, your hands into prayer, and start to reach your prayer up toward the sky. Now from your hips, root down into the earth. So you're strong, you're rooted. And then from your hips, reach up through the sides of your waist, all the way into your fingertips, so that you're tall, you're expansive, and we connect the earth, our ability to go deep, with the sky, our ability to rise and connect more to the realms of ideas and creativity. All right, lower your hands down. Take that right foot back down. Shake your left leg out a little bit. Maybe make some circles with the ankle. And then ground both feet. Okay, second side. Take your weight into your right foot. Take your left knee up. And start by really flexing that foot. And ask yourself, do I have the Goldilocks pelvis here? Am I sticking my butt out? Am I rounding my tailbone under? Drive down into that right leg enough that you can find a little bit of curve in your low back. And then start to open that left leg to the side and go nice and slow so you can feel right where the edge is. Allow yourself to go a little too far. Feel what it's like to go too far where it's not sustainable, and then bring yourself back. Point your hips forward. Squeeze your left ankle forward to open the knee a little bit more, and then use your hand to help that foot either to the inner thigh or to the calf. Just keep it above or below the knee. All right, hands in prayer if they're not there already. Find the rooting quality down into your foot. Find the rising quality up through your crown. And then start to grow your branches up toward the sunlight, toward the sky. Push your foot and your leg into each other. And something I think is so fascinating about trees, I'm a big tree lover, is that they are essentially a mirror image. As above, so below. They have as many roots and like branches underneath the soil as what we see above the earth. All right, slowly take your foot down, shake it out. And you're no different than that. You have just as much inside, just as much depth as you do shining outward, what everyone sees on the outside. And you know what? I might actually take that back and beg to say that you probably have even more inside than what we all see. All right, step to the top of your mat. Stand tall for a moment here in Tadasana, mountain pose, the steadiness of the earth. From here, reach your hands down by your hips, and like a snow angel, reach them all the way out to the sides and overhead. And with a big exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Place your hands, step one foot back and then the other. Lower your knees, come to your belly. All right, take your hands back by your hips. So you're either going to do what we just did earlier with Shalabhasana, or you can bend your knees, grab a hold of either the tops of your feet or your ankles. Now in both of these poses, the tendency that pushes us out of center, that sends us out of sustainability, is to let the legs splay to the sides. So you gotta really work to come back to center. You gotta pull the legs to the midline and think about that action of rolling your inner thighs toward the sky. As you inhale, start to lift your chest up. And as you exhale, start to kick your feet back into your hands. Think about kicking your feet straight back to start, so you really feel the power of your legs, stretching your arms, your shoulders, your chest. And then you can start to think about pressing your feet up toward the sky. Start to lift your knees up. Start to reach your heart forward. And maybe you even rock forward onto your belly a little bit more, and then kick your feet back, come more onto your hips, and start to rock your boat here. All the while drawing those inner thighs to the midline. One more big inhale, rise up right through center, lift your knees, kick your feet back into your hands, and then exhale down all the way to the floor. Make a pillow with your hands underneath your forehead. Take your big toe mounds together. Let your heels drop out to the sides and shake your hips left and right. Little shimmy. Slide your hands back by your heart. Tuck your toes under, and then push the earth away. Set yourself up for child's pose. Full circle, right where we began. Feel your body low here toward the earth. Let the earth hold you for a moment. Let your breath be sweet. And here in your child's pose, take a moment to say your own silent prayer for the earth. Whatever it is you want to offer it. And slide your hands back. Push the floor away and round yourself up to sit on your heels. Just swing your legs around. I'm going to take one little hip stretch here before we finish up. So this is called fire log pose, also sometimes double pigeon. You'll either take your right shin and stack it on top of your left shin. Now, especially if you have male structured hips or you're just tighter, you're a runner, anything like that, your knee might be way up here. It's a lot of sensation in that outer hip, and that's just not sustainable. So you have to adjust the pose to work for you. No problem. You're gonna cross your legs instead. Good old crisscross applesauce. Right shin is either on top or in front. And bring your fingertips down by your sides. And take a moment to sit up tall and close your eyes. Notice where your awareness is inside. And from wherever it's starting, with each breath, like your awareness was walking down a ladder, bring it down into the bottom of your pelvis. And on your exhale, you can either stay up tall here or start to walk your hands forward. If you have those blocks, an option here is to make a little tower underneath your forehead. You can also just stay here with your fingers forward. You choose. Take a few deep breaths into that outer right hip. Another word that both my yoga practice and the earth have taught me is the word regeneration. To actually grow back, to restore life force. And we can use our practice in that way. And I'd like to even offer that we shift from just a sustainable relationship with the earth to a regenerative relationship with the earth. Begin to walk your hands back. Sit up tall. Just take a moment, stretch your legs out long. Windshield wiper your feet a little bit. And then we'll set up for the second side. So this time, left shin is either stacked on top or you cross it in front. Start by pulling the flesh out from underneath your butt. And then bring your fingertips down. Make a tent shape here with your body. Rise tall through the top of your crown, and then start to move your awareness down into your flesh, into your bones, all the way down into the bowl of your pelvis that sits on the earth. And this might be a very sustainable, regenerative place for you to be. And if that's the case, I invite you to just stay right here and to breathe and be with your body. If you are feeling it, you can start to walk yourself forward a little bit more. Let there be a depth to your breathing. And feel how each inhale brings in that fresh, life-giving force, the regenerative breath in. And feel how each exhale allows you to release, to settle, bringing that regenerative breath out. You're going to walk yourself back upright. Release your legs out long. Windshield wiper left and right. And pull the flesh out from underneath your booty. And again, tense your fingertips, sit up tall. Press your heels down and pretend like you're going to bend your knees, but don't actually. Create that kind of tone through the back of the thighs. And you might stay right here or crawl your fingertips forward just halfway, maybe toward the ankles, maybe you hold on to the feet. Micro bend your knees, press the tops of your thighs toward the floor, and reach your heart toward your toes. And walk yourself back. And from here, you're either going to crisscross your legs and just sit here. You can also come to sit on your heels or take a block between your heels and sit on your block. I'm going to do cross-legged. And now I'm not mirroring you, bring your left hand to your heart, your right fingertips to the floor in front of you, and close your eyes. This is one of my absolute favorite mudras, the hand gestures of yoga. And this one comes from the Buddha. It's called Bhumi Sparsa. And it's the mudra that the Buddha took after he became enlightened. And the doubters asked him, prove it. How are you really enlightened? Tell us how it can be true. And he sat down and he took this posture and he said, the earth is my witness. The earth is your witness to all of the threads of your life, all of the memories. The earth is our witness, our communities, the history that we are making, and the history that has already been lived. The earth, our steady guardian, bears witness to it all. Please take your hands together into a prayer. The prayer is our offering, whatever pours forward from your heart. May we come into more sustainable, regenerative relationships to self, to each other, and to the earth. Namaste. Happy Earth Day, everybody. Get outside today, touch a tree, soak up some sunshine, maybe jump in some water, go enjoy those elements, and remember that the earth sustains us. It gives us life, it gives us nourishment. Literally, these blocks were created from the earth. This shirt was created from the earth. And so, as much as the earth gives to us, may we give back to her. May we be her guardian. May we take care of that which takes care of us. Happy Earth Day. Thank you.